Here's what's on your feed today. Detained Senator Jinggoy Estrada has been suspended over his graft case linked to alleged flood control kickbacks. Alleged former bagmen of Zaldico gather at a venue along EDSA for a supposed hearing into the flood control scandal. The Cayetano bloc is now asking the Supreme Court to void the June 3 Senate shakeup to block the leadership of Senator Win Gatchalian. Former and current Ateneo players appear before the CIDG as a probe into the deaths of two student athletes deepens. And a rat spotted inside a JetBlue plane sends social media scrambling and raises aircraft safety and hygiene concerns. Good afternoon, I'm Denise Tan. Senator Jinggoy Estrada has been preventively suspended for 90 days amid his ongoing graft case before the Sandigan Bayan. The suspension was ordered by the Anti-Graft Court's 2nd Division. Estrada is facing a graft case over allegedly receiving a 273 million peso kickback from flood control infrastructure projects in Bulacan. The case remains pending before the court. Under existing law, public officials facing cases involving alleged misuse of public funds may be temporarily suspended from office. A supposed Blue Ribbon Committee hearing announced by former Congressman Mike Defensor turned into a press conference after no senators attended. And for the details, we have mobile journalist Amy Atienza. Amy, ito ang supposed Blue Ribbon Committee hearing, wala nagpakitang senador. So sino-sino na lang nga ba yung present dun sa venue?
Yes, Denise, supposedly kasi ngayong araw nga ay magkakaroon ng pagdinig ang Blue Ribbon Committee ng Cayetano Block dito mismo sa Mandaluyong City. Pero kaninang umaga, nung nagpakita nga si Senator Amy Marcos, ay agad din natin siyang hindi nakita dito sa area. At around 2 p.m. ay nagsimula na nga itong press conference na sinasabi na kasama nga si Attorney Levito Baligod, pati na rin si former Congressman Mike Defensor. Kasama na rin yung 18 former bodyguards ni former Representative Zaldico na nadagdagan pa nga ng 4 pa doon sa bilang. At narinig natin yung kanilang mga testimonies pagdating nga dito sa nasasabing funds ng flood control projects kung saan napapag-uusapan na yan simula pa nung nakarang taon nung naibunyag na ni President Bongbong Marcos yung lista ng mga kasali dito, nadadawit dito sa flood control scandal. So far, may narinig tayo na nadawit nga din si Senator Chis Escudero kung saan nakatanggap daw siya ng maleta ng mga pera. Nababanggit din yung pagkakadawit ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan pagdating nga dito sa flood control scam, pati na rin na si Nicolas Torre III kung saan sinasabi na around 10, si Nicolas Torre III at pati na rin si COMELEC Chair George Garcia kung saan sinasabi na around 10 million pesos naman daw natanggap ni Chair Garcia pagdating nga dito sa pondo ng infrastructure. Denise?
Okay, Amy, balikan ko muna yung non-attendance o yung absence, kumbaga, nitong Cayetano Block Senators. With Senator Amy kasi, nagpakita siya ng umaga. Ano ba yung explanation kung bakit she wasn't able to stay or she did not stay? At ano rin yung dahilan kung bakit yung iba pang members ng kanilang block wala dun sa supposed hearing?
Yes, Denise, kung makikita kasi natin kanina nung pagkalapag ko lang din dito sa Mandaluyong City, okay naman yung security, though marami talaga yung tao na nag-aabang para nga mapakinggan din yung pagdinig ng Blue Ribbon Committee hearing. Supposedly na gagawin nga ngayong araw. Si Senator Amy Marcos nagpakita pero ang nabanggit sa simula nga din ng press conference na pinangunahan ni Kong Defensor, nasabi niya na may pananakot daw na ginawa doon nga sa mga senators. Though we have to confirm kung sino nga ba yung gumagawa ng mga threats na to doon sa members lalo ng Cayetano Block para nga hindi magpakita dito. Bukod kay Senator Amy Marcos kasi ay nakita rin daw dito sa vicinity ng area si Senator Robin Padilla para nga dito din sa supposed na pagdinig para nga sa Blue Ribbon Committee.
Amy, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, may binanggit si former Congressman Defensor na parang kumbaga ito na daw kasi yung huling tsansa o huling pagkakataon dun sa 18 alleged bagmen na makapagsalita at magbigay ng kanilang mga testimonies. Pero bakit daw ito yung huli? Di ba iniimbitahan nga sila na magsalita din sa Senado?
Yes, most likely kasi kanina nakausap natin yung isa sa mga former bagmen nga, former bodyguard din dito, no, at nasabi niya na open pa naman daw talaga sila regardless of Senate leadership. So kahit under the leadership of acting SP Win Gatchalian, or kaya naman dito sa chairpersonship ni Senator Tulfo para nga sa Blue Ribbon Committee, ay willing naman daw sila umattend. We have to get the details pa kung bakit nga ba nabanggit ito. Pero madami na rin kasi talaga yung naisiwalat dito sa pagdinig nga ng sa naging press conference nga nitong former bodyguards ni former Ako Bicol Party List Representative Zaldico. At yun nga, nakikita rin kasi na ito na talaga yung chance or opportunity for all these people na mag-gather dito ngayon sa isang location at magsama-sama nga dahil from 18 na dagdagan pa ng 4. So, ang assumption natin, no, assumption lang naman, Denise, no, ay baka nga rare opportunity na magsama-sama itong 22 former bodyguards nga ni Representative Zaldico sa isang location. And yun nga, expected pa rin naman daw nila na may invite nga sila dito mismo ng Senado pagdating sa pag-testify sa Blue Ribbon Committee hearings.
Speaking of dagdag, Amy, isa sa mga nadagdag na mga pangalan na binanggit kanina, yung pangalan ni Senator Escudero. Meron bang eksplanasyon kung bakit simula na mag-umpisa itong mga testimonies na to, ngayon lang sinabi yung kanyang pangalan?
Wala pa tayo nakukuha ang direct answer kung bakit nga ba ngayon lang nailaglag itong pangalan ni Senator Escudero dito sa naging testimonies ng former bodyguards ni Representative Ko. Pero yun nga, ang nasasabi din kasi, kung nabalikan lang din natin yung nakaraang BRC hearing doon naman sa Senado, ilan sa mga lawmakers din na kasama dun sa listahan na nailatag nila ay mga miyembro din ng House Prosecution Panel. Alamin pa natin kung meron nga ba. Pero dito naman kay Senator Chis Escudero, wala pang direct answer talaga tayo nakukuha kung bakit nga ba ngayon nailatag. Pero most likely, meron din itong relation pagdating doon sa sinasabi nilang ito na nga yung last chance or opportunity para makapagsalita yung itong former bodyguards para nga dito sa flood control scandal.
All right, thank you for that report. Again, that was mobile journalist Amy Atienza. Now, the Ombudsman Boying Remulla says 209 complaints involving flood control projects are under fact-finding investigation for the first 6 months of 2026. He said the figure nearly doubled from the 124 complaints recorded in 2025. He added that 4 cases have already been filed before courts. He assured the office remains committed to strengthening accountability and public trust in governance. Remulla made the remarks in a video message during the Southeast Asian Ombudsman Forum hosted by the Philippines. Meanwhile, the Senate leadership row has now reached the Supreme Court. The Cayetano bloc is asking the High Court to nullify actions taken during the disputed June 3 session and restore the previous Senate structure. For the details, Mobile Journal Merimon Reyes is reporting live from the Senate. Merimon, okay, what exactly is the Cayetano bloc asking from the SC, and how could this possibly affect tomorrow's special session?
Denise, according to the petition, 87-page petition yung final ng Cayetano bloc kanina sa Supreme Court, and they are hoping to have a cease and desist sa current Senate operations. They are questioning yung committee chairmanship ngayon na hinahawakan ng new majority, and they are hoping to have the June 3 session held kung saan may 12 senators na bumuo ng quorum basing it on a Supreme Court ruling na maging null and void. Ang sinasabi nitong kanilang petition, yung Avellino case daw, hindi raw nito automatically inaalaw ang quorum, yung quorum base to be lowered simply because some senators are absent. Dapat daw meron ditong valid reasons, which includes senators being outside the Philippine jurisdiction, pero wala raw ganyan na valid reason na nabanggit nung June 3 session na ginawa nitong new majority senators. Even assuming that there was a quorum according to the petition, Senate President Pro Tempore Sherwin Gatchalian or Senator Gatchalian was still not validly elected as Senate President Pro Tempore dahil hindi 12 votes daw ang kailangan, kundi 13 votes ang kinakailangan para mag-elect ng Senate officers. Sabi naman ni Senator Cayetano, he is ready to yield yung Senate presidency kung sakali man na yung kabilang block ay mamamaster na yung at least 13 senators para mabuo yung new majority block, yung decisive majority or yung maiisesemento na si Senator Gatchalian sa pagka-Senate President. Pero ang sinasabi kanina ni Senator Cayetano sa live stream niya, yung katotohanan daw sa likod ng flood control mess or scandal, baka raw mabaon ito kung sakaling yung susunod daw na Senate leadership ay kontrolado ng Malacanang. Ito yung sinasabi ni Senator Cayetano sa ibang live streams niya na dalawa raw yung nag-i-exist na Senado, Senate of the Philippines daw, at saka Senate of Malacanang. Denise.
Okay, Merimon, dalawang tanong ano. Kanina inaabangan natin, if I'm not mistaken, around hanggang 5 PM lang dapat ano kung makakakuha ng sagot mula sa SC. Tomorrow, the special session starts at 9 AM. May possibility pa bang may magbago in case maglabas ng desisyon ng SC? And speaking of, din pala, yung final nila sa SC, talking about the Cayetano block, yung motion na yon, wala yung mga pangalan ni Senators Joel Villanueva at ni Senator Joel Villanueva at Mark Villar. Bakit daw wala na?
Denise, yung sa pangalan ng petitioners, wala si Senator Joel Villanueva pero wala pa tayong nakukuhang reaction or comment tungkol doon. Pero kanina lamang yung opisina ni Senator Mark Villar sinabi na dahil daw nasa ibang bansa raw due to personal reasons si Senator Mark Villar, kaya regarding to the petition, yun yung answer nila kung bakit wala yung pangalan ng senador. Pero on the side of Senator Joel, so far wala pang kasagutan yung kanilang kampo. Yung naging pagpa-file ng petition ng Cayetano Block, sinasabi ni Senator Ping Lacson from the majority na sana raw mas inagahan pa yung pagpa-file nitong petition nila. Hindi daw yung a day before the special session. Kung napaaga, this would have given the Supreme Court more time to study and rule on the issues now being raised sa Supreme Court. And ang sinasabi, sabi ni Senator Ping, ito raw ay isang isa na namang desperadong maruming taktika or dirty little tricks of Senator Cayetano para ma-maintain niya or mapanghawakan pa niya o maigiit yung kanyang kapangyarihan. So far, on the part of the majority, etong si Senator Ping yung naging vocal agad sa pagsagot dito sa petisyon na final ng Cayetano Block. Denise.
At paano naman nag-react itong Gatchalian Block, Merimon, dun sa supposed flood control hearing of the other camp? At pati na rin ano, kasi may nakita tayong, I believe it was used interviewing Senator Gatchalian this morning, sa posibilidad na mukhang they do have the numbers, possibly 13 or 14, tama ba?
Yung sinasabi kasi dyan, actually wala pang nagiging confirmation eh. Kahit sa pangungulit natin kanina kay Senator Gatchalian, wala siyang nagiging sagot kung may mag-over na bakod na ba na at least 1 or 2 up to 3 senators bukas sa special session para masemento na yung kaganyang pagiging Senate President. Pero what we know so far is si Senator Joe Villanueva in-announce niya throughout the weekend na pupunta siya sa special session kung sakaling magpatawag. So kung sakali man bukas, we are anticipating the addition of 1 senator sa attendance lamang pero not yet sa commitment na pag-over the bakod o yung pag-aanib sa majority block. And so far, ang isa sa inaabangan din natin, ang nasabi rin kasi ni Senator Ping Lacson, bukod sa ready ang majority sa pag-attend bukas without delay, without drama, ready rin daw sila for what is to come. This would include yung pagko-contest sa kung sino ba ang magsisilbi bilang presiding officer, yung pwedeng pangunguna o agawan sa pagpapatawag ng sesyon, even yung Senate mace, yung seal, dito sa likod ako, yung nilalagay sa gilid ng presiding officer sa rostrum, and even yung Senate gavel. So walang dinivulge na details sa Senator pero sabi nila, ready raw sila sa kahit na anong pwedeng mangyari bukas. Lalo na kung magkakaroon ng pag-antala o pagkagulo sa pagpapatawag ng special session tomorrow. Pero so far, all systems go sila dahil may quorum daw sila of 12 senators. Adding to that is Senator Joel sa attendance. So all the more na makakapagpatawag ng sesyon ang Senado. Denise.
Merimon, last na and briefly lang please, ano, nagtaas na ba ng level of security dyan ahead of tomorrow's special session?
Denise, yung may comprehensive SSI, yung security survey and inspection na ginagawa, hindi lang naman daw for the special session tomorrow, kundi para sa impeachment trial at para na rin ito doon sa still validating na security threats sa Senado. Kaya even kanina sa paligid ng Senate, even sa press office, may K9 units. So sa tulong ito ng BFP, ng PNP, tsaka ng AFP, Armed Forces of the Philippines, na naglibot at sinisiguro pa rin nila na mahigpit nilang inaalam kung ano ba ang pakay, kung sakali may nais pumasok sa Senado, kung may ID ba, kung staff ba sila o personnel. At balikan ko lang mabilisan din kanina, sinabi rin ni Senator Gatchalian na yung ginawang pag-aanunsyo ni former Congressman Mike Defensor tungkol sa version nila ng Blue Ribbon Committee hearing, ito raw ay nakakapanlinlang at nakakapanloko lalo't ginagamit daw ang titulo ng Senado para raw mapaniwala ang tao na opisyal na announcement yung ginagawa. So far, pinag-aaralan din daw nila ngayon, according to Senator Gatchalian and to Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman Senator Erwin Tulfo, yung legal steps na maaari nilang gawin to address this, including na rin dyan yung probable na pagpa-file ng kaso, either sa former congressman or other personalities involved. Denise.
All right, thank you for that update. Again, that was Mary Mon Reyes reporting live from the Senate. More stories coming your way when One Newsfeed returns. Stay tuned. You're still watching One Newsfeed. Welcome back. The investigation into the deaths of Rene Baterbonia and Divine Adili continues with several former and current members of the Ateneo Blue Eagles appearing before authorities. Mobile journalist Jazz Paredes joins us live from Camp Crame. Okay, Jazz, who have been called in so far and ano nga ba yung gustong makuha ng mga investigators coming from their testimonies?
Yes, Denise, no, pasado alas 8 ng umaga nga kanina nagsimulang magsidatingan ang mga players, mga dating players mula sa Ateneo basketball team at matapos yan silang imbitahan ng CIDG na humarap nga dito sa kanilang tanggapan upang isalaysay yung kanilang mga naging karanasan sa mga nagdaang team building sa ilalim ng pamumuno ng dating ng nag-resign na si head coach Tab Baldwin. At sa ngayon, ang paglinaw ng CADG, ang kanya daw imbitasyon sa mga players na ito ay hindi dahil sa PINA itong mga players, kundi dahil ito lamang ay para magsilbi silang resource person at para makakuha sila ng mga facts na kinakailangan para magbigay linaw sa kanilang investigasyon dahil kagaya nga ng naunang pahayag ni DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla na ang kanilang ginagawa ngayon ay isang fact-finding exercise. So parte ito ng kanilang investigasyon, Denise, no? At itong mga manlalaro na ito, Denise, no, ang nakita natin is 10 silang dumating kanina, simula kaninang umaga until magtanghali. At itong mga nakita natin, ilan sa mga na-identify natin, yung ilan sa mga nagbahagi sa podcast ng kanilang naranasan ng military-like training. At sa ngayon, i-verify pa natin kung sino yung mga taong ito. Pero kanina nakapanayam natin yung isa sa mga abogado ni Ladi at ni Dominic Escobar na kung saan si Attorney BJ Topacio, kanyang sinabi na lahat daw ng players ay nibigay na kanilang salaysay at under oath daw yung kanilang mga statement. Sa ngayon, hindi pa sila makapagbigay ng further details regarding the investigation at gayon din ang CADG dahil gumugulong pa raw ang investigasyon. Pero inaasahan natin, Denise, no, na sa susunod na linggo ay posibleng magpa-press briefing ang CADG upang ibigay nila yung mga detalye kabilang na rin yung mga naging salaysay nitong mga dating manlalaro. Denise.
Okay, Jazz, may supina no, para dito kay former head coach Tab Baldwin, pati na rin doon sa mga ibang Ateneo officials. But we know that they did not appear. Ano yung explanasyon na ibinigay nila and could they possibly face any legal actions or legal consequences sa hindi pagpapakita?
Yes, Denise, no. Matatandaan natin na ipinasabina itong si dating head coach Tab Baldwin at kabilang pa dito yung 4 na opisyal at tanging si Athletics Department Emmanuel Fernandez lamang ang nagpakita noong Lunes. At ayon kay Remulla, mag-i-issue sila ng pangalawang subpoena at ipapatawag sila sa Biyernes. So we're expecting na magpapakita na sila sa ikalawang patawag dito sa CADG sa Biyernes. Pero ayon din sa kanya na kung sa ikalawang beses na patawag sila through the subpoena at hindi sila magpakita, possible daw na i-recommenda nila na maglabas ng warrant for contempt order. Itong mga opisyal ng Ateneo oras na hindi sila magpakita. Pero sa ngayon, Denise, no, ang ating impormasyon ay posible namang bukas ay yung mga current players at yung mga players na nakasama doon sa team building sa Dipakulaw Aurora ang aasahan nating magpapakita sa tanggapan ng CADG office bukas. Denise.
Thank you for those updates. Again, that was Mobile Journal, Jazz Paredes. The remains of Ateneo student athlete Rene Baterbonia arrived in his hometown, Talocogon, Agusan del Sur earlier today. Residents gathered at the municipal gymnasium to welcome the young athlete home, lighting candles as his casket arrived. Baterbonia's remains were transported from Davao City with thousands of people lining highways across Davao del Norte, Davao de Oro, and Agusan del Sur to pay their final respects. Public viewing of Baterbonia's remains began earlier this afternoon. Meanwhile, Baterbonia's mother, Rovelyn, said she has yet to learn about former Ateneo head coach Tab Baldwin's resignation. Baldwin announced his decision to step down from the Blue Eagles program amid the ongoing investigation into the deaths of Baterbonia and Divine Adili.
Wala akong idea sa ngayon. Hindi ko pa alam kung nag-resign or ano. Basta ang sabi ko sa inyo, buo pa ang isip ko, paano ko muna yung anak ko. Hindi ko nga alam kung ganyan nag-resign sila. Wala pa akong pakialam.
Wala ka bang...
Wala pa akong idea talaga.
Meanwhile, the MVP Sports Foundation clarifies its involvement in the Ateneo men's basketball program amid questions surrounding the team. In a statement, MVPSF President Al Panlilio said the group's role is limited to providing funding and does not extend to the management or operation of the team. He emphasized that the foundation does not handle the program's coaching, recruitment, athlete management, or player development. Panlilio also addressed the role of Epo Quimpo, saying the Smart Communications employee served as Ateneo team manager in his personal capacity. He added that Quimpo's work with the team has always been under the authority and direction of Ateneo officials. The foundation also expressed its condolences to the families of Divine Adili and Rene Baterbonia while pledging support for efforts to seek the truth following the tragedy. One Newsfeed will be back after this short break. You're still watching One Newsfeed. Welcome back. Pag-asa says at least 47 areas in the Philippines are expected to experience dry conditions by the end of November. Among the affected areas are parts of Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, including Metro Manila and nearby provinces. The State Weather Bureau said this is due to the continued presence of El Niño conditions in the tropical Pacific. The areas may see a 21 to 60% reduction in rainfall for 2 consecutive months. Pag-asa added only Camarines Sur is expected to experience a dry spell for a longer period, while no areas are forecast to reach drought conditions. Some solar panel sellers in Manila are not worried over the Trade Department's plan to tighten regulations on solar energy systems, saying certification could even help boost consumer trust. Mobile Journal Fatima Baduria has the report.
Solar power products line the streets of Raon Quiapo in Manila, including solar panels of different sizes. A complete solar setup costs between 150 to 380,000 pesos, depending on the energy capacity needed. However, the Department of Trade and Industry plans to tighten regulations on these devices. According to DTI's draft administrative order, solar-powered items for sale will require a Philippine Standard Safety and Quality certification, an effort to ensure consumer safety. Nonetheless, solar panel vendors in Raon says they have nothing to worry about.
Sa lahat naman ng installa namin, wala namang nasunog eh. Okay naman. Wala namang naging aberya. Sa ngayon, marami mga regular customer kami. Maganda naman ang feedback nila sa amin.
They say the certification will even help boost consumer confidence to switch to solar, proving the products are safe and high quality.
Ang dagdag lang nila, kita lang nila, ganun. Pag kukuha ng mga permit niya. Siyempre, nag-i-equip din sila minsan, nag-iwasan sila sa sunog, siyempre.
The DTI says they are open to comments and recommendations regarding the proposal until July 25. Kapatid Fatima Baduria, we are One News.
Over in sports, after 6 games of thrilling back-and-forth action, TNT Tropang 5G and Barangay Ginebra are set for a winner-take-all Game 7 in the PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals. The Tropang 5G forced the decider after escaping with a Game 6 victory behind a monster performance from Chris McCullough, who finished with 53 points and 22 rebounds. Justin Brownlee matched him shot for shot, pouring in 52 points for Ginebra, however, coming up short in the final quarter. Now, after 6 games of haymakers and momentum swings, the series is tied at 3 games apiece. Game 7 is set tomorrow at the Mall of Asia Arena with tip-off at 7:30 p.m. Watch Game 7 of the PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals between the TNT Tropang 5G and Barangay Ginebra Gin Kings on June 17, Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Live and free on the One Sports YouTube channel, PBA 50 Solid. And before we go, a JetBlue Airways flight is under scrutiny after a passenger recorded what appeared to be a rat moving through the cabin during a flight. A video posted on social media showed the animal crawling through the illuminated panels above the overhead bins in the airline's premium mint cabin. The clip quickly drew attention online, raising concerns about aircraft cleanliness and safety. JetBlue responded to the post with a public apology and asked the passenger to provide flight details so the airline could identify the aircraft involved. Aviation experts note that rodents can pose a serious risk to aircraft because they may chew through electrical wiring and other critical systems. The airline has not yet released further details about the incident or whether the aircraft was taken out of service for inspection. And that wraps up One Newsfeed, the only feed you need. I'm Denise Tan. Good evening.